Now, here is an animal that is not a predator. I haven't seen many of them for a while. Okay, here is a guinea fowl. Firstly, here are the guinea fowl, possibly the ones that we're calling. Sorry, Viam, but a bit of a slope over here. You can see the guinea fowl moving through the clearing, very relaxed, not alarm calling anymore. And then some beautiful antelope. A very big kudu. Female kudu. We haven't seen male kudus for a while. Don't know where they are. We spoke about it the other day. I said possibly because there's not as much vegetation around for them to browse on. So maybe they've just moved into other areas, but they will be back at some point. There was also a male in Nyala moving through the back, but can't see him at the moment. But look at this female. Just watch her browsing the leaves off of this tree, using her tongue and lips to grab some of the leaves off. There's some waterbuck walking around here, an impala. There's also a little Steenbok. Yeah, there's a Steenbok out in the clearing too, just in front of us. Little male Steenbok. You can see those horns. Enjoying some of the green little plants over there at the moment in the clearing. It all seems very peaceful out in the clearings at the moment. Let's take a drive around here and just see if there's anything else going on. Nice to see these various antelope species: the kudu, the Nyala, the waterbuck, impala, the Steenbok. 5 species just out here. Now speaking of 5 species of antelope around here, it appears as if Jamie has got 5 cheetah, which are walking around the Mara. I'm a bit jealous. Let's go have a look.
I don't know what magic is going on in this place. I really don't, but we somehow entered a parallel universe where every single road I took did not lead to these cheetah, even though I could see them from every direction that I moved in. So we have spent the entire time since you last saw us, and now we found them in a place where the signal's a bit patchy, so hopefully I can finish the story. All 5 Cheetah Brothers, all together, desperately trying to go through the mud, nearly got stuck once. Nearly got stuck, but we didn't. But the funniest part of the whole thing, as we zoomed, and it's taken us probably, I don't know, an hour to move less than 100 meters that we needed to get to across these luggers. But the most surreal moment was when, as we were about to reach them, a family of self-drive tourists found themselves stuck in a hole, and we went to pull them out. They managed to get out, and they said to us, thank you, you know there's 5 cheetah over there. At which point I nearly collapsed and buried my head on the steering wheel and cried. I've got so much mud in my eye, I'm sorry. Literally mud in my eye. There's 5 cheetah over there, you know. Really? I knew we were trying to get into this awful patch for a reason. These poor people have been stuck the entire time we've been trying to get around. There's some more people stuck over there. It's utter chaos. I can't understand. I don't know where we are. Shahawi and I were so confused. We are so confused. I don't know what system of luggers this magic place has, but somehow every time we got close to them we had another drainage line to cross. And then I tried one and we got stuck halfway up with the wheels slipping, so we had to do it in reverse. But we did it. And guess what? We've got 5 Cheetah Brothers, and the lovely news is that they are very well fed. So the report I had was that they were here, but that they were quite hungry. Well, they're not hungry anymore by the looks of things. In fact, they look very, very large and very, very content. And the nice thing is that all 5 of them are here. And of course, we went through that period where one disappeared. Alex, you want to know how old these boys are? We've got a mixture of two different ages. The gentleman with the collar, who is, where is he? There's D'Artagnan, there he is. The gentleman with the collar, and I suspect his brother, are older than the other two, but they're still quite young males. Now, I don't know exactly how old they are, but I suspect around about 4 or 5. We're going to get the full details of their family story as soon as we can for you. So that's one of the things that we have arranged, and we will do at some point. We'll get the full genetic tale of exactly how these 5 cheetah boys came to be together, because it's unusual to see 5 cheetah males in a group like this. Not unusual, it's almost unheard of, actually. Do you want to know something else that's quite surreal about this area that I'm in? I've just realized that this is where I was stuck that one night with Manu. As if the afternoon couldn't get any stranger. The whole place is just filled with the cries of very happy frogs. I can't believe we actually made it to the cheetah and found signal. This is one of the strangest afternoons I've ever had out here. And we've avoided the bad weather, which is great because I don't think they would. I don't think we would ever have made it out of here if it did rain. So I hope it doesn't, while we spend some time with these cheetah boys. Okay, so our cheetah boys are feeling relatively tired and relatively sleepy. Let's go and find out whether Brents are feeling any more energetic.
Well, we've just had a little bit more energy from the 2 boys. And what has... there's a hyena whooping in the distance. I wonder if they've actually managed to spot it. Doesn't sound too far off. Down towards a zebra there, but beyond. Oh, they all look like they're looking behind me. Let me just move forward a bit. See what they're looking at. Wait, just look at this guy's face. Look at that face. Aren't you a pretty boy? Absolutely gorgeous. What have you spotted? Let's go see what they've spotted. They could be Thompson's gazelles around. They could be just looking in that general direction. But in that general direction is a good one for us because it's a very pretty one. It is to the west. So there's some nice skies around there as well. Oh, he's coming back towards Mom. Might decide to have a little bit of gamemanship with Mom, especially while she's not looking. It's always the best time to attack your mother, when she's looking away. No, not going to attack. Going to look for some love. Flop. Brenda is wondering, will the mother drive away the boys, or will drives them all? They will not want to leave Mom at all costs, so she will actually chase them off. We do apologize. It seems to be a few little gremlins, probably from the big storms that are all around us at the moment, probably causing a bit of intermittent signal between us and final control. Now, there was a massive storm between us and final control earlier, and there's still a few about. And you can see the pink and oranges of the western skyline in the Mara, down towards Tanzania. There's a particularly big storm down there at the moment. Now, this time of the day is starting to get sort of prime cheetah hunting. And there we go, there's the second boy, just resting on top of a close little termite mound. So as I said, this time of the day is sort of prime cheetah hunting time. It's that sort of last 45 minutes before the sun sets, and the last hour or so after the sun sets, and the same for in the morning. Although we have seen cheetah hunt in the dark, but they generally prefer that sort of crepuscular hours to do most of their hunting. As again, we do apologize for the intermittent black screen. Hopefully they do keep up on the ridges while we are following them. I still think they might hunt. They might not. You never know. We are live from the gorgeous Masai Mara, but I'm almost certain if they don't hunt this evening, I will try be with them at first light tomorrow morning to see if they get hunting then. So it seems like we're having a bit of gremlins here, so while we wait for them to move into a better area, let's go across to Jamie and the Musketeers.
Jamie and the Musketeers, but I'm not showing you the Musketeers just yet because we have a really beautiful, beautiful sunset to show you. And we've just encountered a gentleman who has spent some time stuck in the lugger himself, so he knows exactly how we feel. Look at the mud. Look at the reflections of the sun in the mud. It very strongly reminds me of a scene in Fantasia where the little winged horses are jumping around in the reflections of the water. Brings back childhood memories of wanting to be able to do that myself. Very cool. Kristen, you say that the skyline is amazing. It is truly amazing. It is really very lovely. Those massive storm clouds made even lovelier by the fact that they are blowing away from us and not towards us. And the sheer amount of rain that's fallen this afternoon is quite extraordinary. Somehow we've ducked and dived all those storms. We've felt the after effects, but we haven't had to struggle through them in the way that Brent has. And I'm not sure if Tayla's been stuck in the rain as well. I am going to have to reposition because our friend is waiting to chat to us, which is fantastic. But oh, hold on, Cheetah are up. Just hold on 1 second. I have to reposition now. I just want to see why they're up and what they're looking at. Might be people stuck in the lugger. No, I think it's okay. All right, I hope our signal. Oh, look! Look! Is that a lion or is that? No way! No wonder they're so alert. They're straight in front of us. Straight in front of us. No, but further towards the tree line. There. It's a lioness. I thought it was the leopard that everyone's been talking about. So we've got 3 big cats in this particular area. We've got a lioness over there who's probably spent her entire time hiding from the various people who are stuck or have been stuck in the mud. There is a leopard apparently not far from these cheetah at all. And there is also, of course, the 5 cheetah boys. That is a hungry lioness. She really is after a meal. She could really use one. I wonder who she is and where she's come from. We're at a place called Balloon Crossing. Well, almost at a place called Balloon Crossing, also known as the Wormhole Central. Or something else sci-fi related. What a surprise. I wondered what got the cheetah's attention. Has she seen them? I don't think so. If she'd seen them... Excuse me. Just cough up the mud quickly. If she'd seen them, I'm almost certain she would be making a beeline for them, but I think what's actually attracted her attention is the sound of the wildebeest. And I think that's what she's going to go after. Oh, hi, Bacon, absolutely. What a sneaky girl indeed. her. Right towards us now. She is going to come towards these cheetahs. She wasn't originally, but now she is. The boys are starting to call to each other. They've all seen her. They're all on alert. Now, there's a very good chance she's going to chase these boys if she spots them. Remember, she's lower down than we are, which means her eye line might not quite... Nope, she's just... No, she hasn't. Might not mean she can see them. Let's just see which direction she goes in. I will say that provided these boys are on alert, which they are, and they're not taken by surprise, she's not a threat to them. I don't think there's a chance she'd catch them. You never know, though. Unfortunately, cheetahs are killed by lions. She's calling. She's contact calling. There might be others. The wind is blowing a little bit, but I can hear her. All right. Let me just give her 1 second to decide whether she's going to go back into the lugger or if she's going to continue in this direction. She is continuing in this direction. Chantal, I would... Wait, hold on. Sorry. Looking back over her shoulder, listening for a response. Which way is she going to choose to go? Oh dear, she's going to keep coming in this direction. Okay, off you go, Chantal. Most definitely. Hello and welcome to the Masai Mara here in Kenya, where we have what could potentially be a very tense situation developing. Now, you're live here in one of the most beautiful parts of Africa. It is evening, and we have a lioness calling off into the distance, looking for the rest of her pridesmates. So you might ask yourself, well, why is this a tense situation? Well, I'll explain in 1 second. Just a quick introduction. Oh, she's changing direction, but which way is she going to go? Hold on 1 moment. She's looking back. Now let me explain to you why this is tense and why it is fantastic news that she's turned and moving away now, although she is indecisive. Because if we look to my right, you will see 5 very, very anxious looking cheetah who have spotted her, and they're keeping a very close watch while at the same time pressing themselves close to the ground. Now, these 5 boys have gained extraordinary notoriety in this area. It's very unusual to see a male coalition of 5 all together in a group like this. That they have survived all kinds of odds, and they've gone on to conquer them again and again. And it looks like luck. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to the lioness. I think she might have spotted... Oh, no, there's a second lioness there. She's just come out of the drainage line. There she is over there. She's much, much closer to them. Right here. Okay, if we go a little bit further to the right, even further. She's right here. No, she's walking towards them. There she is. She's now walking straight towards the cheetah males. Now, the cheetahs have seen the one in front of them. Have they seen this one coming out over here? And is she going to be distracted by the other lioness? Because a lioness's instinct is to kill competitors, whether it's a cheetah or a leopard. Riti, there you go. That's the answer to your question. One of the biggest threats to cheetah out here is lions. And I've just been chatting to Jahawi, who is on camera with me. He's been in this area for a while, and he tells me that there was a recent dip in lion population, which is why we're seeing this increase in cheetah in the Masai Mara. She's seen them. She's definitely seen them. The boys are coiled, poised, ready to spring up and run away. Is she going to come at them? They can outpace her. They're the fastest land mammal. Sarah, yes, absolutely. A lone lioness would try and take on 5 cheetah. It is entirely possible. You can see how frozen they are. They're watching her every move. I don't think she's seen them. Or if she has, she's still assessing. The second lioness is now walking back towards her, but quite far on the outside of us. Lewis, yes, it is. It is entirely live. Hence why I'm able to answer your question right here and right now in the Masai Mara. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? That wherever you happen to be, Lewis, and please feel free to tell us where you happen to be, we can share these action broadcasts with you when all kinds of extraordinary things happen in the Masai Mara. Although this is a tense situation, I believe that these cheetah boys have been alert enough that they have seen these lioness coming. They know that there's two now. They've definitely seen them. But I don't, on second thoughts, in the way that she's behaving, I don't know that this lioness has worked out that these cheetah are here. If she had, I think she'd already be running at them. So now it's just a question of, is she going to turn and move towards that second lioness? And if so, is she going to turn her back on them, in which case she'll miss them completely? Janice, no, the lioness can't smell the cheetah, and I'll tell you why. I'm sitting on the other side of the cheetah boys from where the lioness is, and the wind is blowing straight into my face. So what that means is that the wind is blowing the smell of the cheetahs towards me and not towards the lioness. There they are, still completely frozen. The lioness, of course, as a predator, as a carnivore, her eyesight is attracted to movement, just as the cheetah's is. And in this case, the cheetah know it, and they're remaining completely still. The one at the back doesn't seem too bothered, does he? He could be on holiday lounging. No, John, the lioness will not eat the cheetah. She might nibble on it a little bit, but for the most part, the killing instinct when it comes to other predators comes into a competition rather than a food instinct. So her instinct is to kill other predators because that's what her instinct tells her, but she will not feed on the male cheetah, no. She will not. She might nibble on it a little bit. The animals that tend to eat the carnivores that they've killed are usually hyena. Hyena will eat other carnivores as well as they will eat their own kind, and leopards have been known to hoist and to eat cheetah. So while the lioness may nibble on them, there's no food motive at all behind that kind of thinking. She still hasn't moved. So far, the cheetah boys have lucked out. The second lioness is now far away in the opposite direction. That's what she's looking at. But why hasn't she responded to the calls of that lioness? What else is around? How many lions are there? We've already been surprised by one. When are the rest? Are the rest going to pop out? I've also, just to add to things, heard that there's a leopard somewhere right around here. So we could potentially have all three big cats. I doubt it. I think the leopard's probably ducked away, but you never know. I've had stranger things happen out here. She's turning away. And as she moves away, I think our cheetah boys are lucky they're not going to have to run today. Denise, cheetah are potentially a threat to lion cubs. It's very unusual, but they have been known to kill lion cubs in the past, usually when the lion cubs are very small. Obviously, it doesn't often happen because I can hear the lioness roaring over the sound of the frogs. It doesn't often happen because the cheetah are not really brave enough to investigate whether mum is there. Phew, boys. She was so close to them at one stage, I can't believe she didn't see them. So as the lioness strides off towards the roars of her sister, we're going to say goodbye to those of you joining us for the action broadcast, but stay tuned. We are seeing all kinds of incredible things out here in the Masai Mara, and our favorite thing to do is to share them with all of you. Thank you for joining us. coming now of the action broadcast, coming chasing the wildebeest over there. There's now absolute chaos, so that the cheetah boys are fine. They are 100% safe. The lioness has moved, well, I say 100% safe. I don't know how many lions were in there. The second one came as a surprise, I have to say. So we've got the 5 cheetah boys, we've got 2 lionesses, and we've got wildebeest having an absolute panic. There's the cheetah. They're not moving too much, just in case there's more to come, although their body language has relaxed significantly. But now what's with those wildebeest? My eyes are starting to have to strain, but I think we're going to need to reposition, and I think we're going to need to go over there. So sorry. I'm sending you over to somebody with something that I'm sure is amazing.
Now I've got something different to show you, and I think this might be one of the first of the season for us. I haven't seen any others around. But have a look over here. Look at this beautiful little flower that we've just found. That's nice. Now, this little flower is known as a lion's eye. Thank goodness it's a flower, I know at least. But they do often grow along the edge of roads or in the middle of roads. Not wonderful. Our first flower of summer, I suppose. Very first colourful flower that we've seen out here for quite some time. Little roadside flower, the lion's eye. Bright, bright orange. Beautiful, beautiful flower. That's really nice. Something different. See, stop and appreciate the flowers too. Now I'm going to drive over, well, when I say over it, I'm just going to put the 2 vehicles, the 2 tires either side of the flower. I won't harm the flower. But how beautiful is that? Little lion's eye. That's nice. Now I know some of the viewers are asking about flowers and wanting to see some, so pretty soon we'll start seeing more flowers popping out, which will be great as we move further into summer. Now we were chatting earlier about the birds of prey and foot structures, the birds of prey classification they are, and it's so interesting. It's almost like, I don't know, it's like birders try and make life difficult for us. James Richard, thank you very much for your comment on that, and you were saying that some of the birds of prey are raptorial, or they've got a raptorial foot structure. Excuse me a second, just let me move out the way of this other vehicle quickly. Just move over here so they can drive past. Afternoon everyone, hello. So as I was saying that yeah, the birds of prey have raptorial or a raptorial foot structure because of talons, very sharp talons. But then again, you know, if you look at the passerines, which I mentioned, passerines 3 toes forward, 1 toe back, like the eagle. However, they say generally passerines are smaller birds. So I guess the birds of prey don't sing. It's more of a squawking or screech that they give off. Also, birds of prey the passerines are generally born altricial. Now, altricial means they're born helpless, so without feathers, blind, and they rely when they hatch. They've got little feathers, but they're fluffy, not the feathers that they would use different category, and that gives them this raptorial foot structure, or fall under raptorial birds. But all of that gets confusing. Okay, lose signal. Let's cross to Tayla quickly and see where she's driving. Sorry, and Taylor's got some comms issues at the moment. We should still have to go, I think. Let's hope. Please. Where's Jerry? Our technician. But I'm sure it'll.
Welcome. Sorry about that, everyone. I think there's a gremlin somewhere. Craig was busy putting on our infrared lights as it gets darker. Well, our cheetah family have popped their heads up, finally. They still haven't moved from this quite comfy termite mound they've been sitting on for about an hour now. Now, they're looking in that distance because they can hear a hyena whooping. Still way too far away to be any threat. And we also heard some lions roaring further to the sort of northwest, down towards the Mara River. It is that wonderful time of night. You can hear the frogs starting to wake up. I wonder what they've spotted. Let me have a quick look with my far lookers, my binoculars. Where did I put my far lookers now? There they are. So they're looking down that way. I'm not sure if there's anything there. I see what they've seen. What have we got? Hyenas. That is what they spotted. I can see 1, 2 hyenas. Fortunately for the cheetah. You see them, Craig? That little black dot running in the distance there. Fortunately for the cheetah, you got them there. They're going away from where the cheetah are, and they'll be quite happy about that. But you can see we unfortunately haven't managed to finish putting our IR lights on just yet. And we are hoping that the gremlins leave someone else so we can finish that, because if these cheetah get moving now, we might be at a little bit of a disadvantage. Now, of course, these things do happen when you are live out in the African bush. But while we finish with installing our nocturnal gizmos, let's go across to Madam McCurdy to see what she's up to.
Sorry, we lost you there. We've got little white crested helmet shrikes that were just flying around here. Where did they go now? I actually caught a glimpse of them. There we go. That's a nice view of it. Beautiful little birds, the white crested helmet shrikes, always in little family groups. But as we spotted them, there were actually 3 of them sitting on a branch all together. They've just flown off now. It's a nice view of it. Well done, Viam. Great view. Perfect little gap through the branches. And so those would be considered passerines. Definitely, those are definitely passerines, and I suppose the birds of prey, they definitely raptorial, just judging on their foot structure and other defining characteristics. Here's a lovely little bird for us to look at. Now, I haven't seen one of these for a while. Is this just a red crested that's perched up on the top there? Or is this a black-bellied bustard? It looks like a black-bellied bustard, actually. Oh dear, now let me just confirm. No, red-crested? I think this is a red-crested. They look very similar. I'll show you pictures of both. I'll tell you why they look similar. But this, I think, is the red-crested Korhaan. Yeah, I'm almost certain it's the... Yeah, he's going to whistle for us. Let's listen. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, there was, as I said, it is a red-crested Korhaan, and that call just confirmed it. The black-bellied bustard also likes to sit up on termite mounds like this and give a call, but so does the red-crested Korhaan. They look very similar, very, very similar. I wonder if this one... Now, occasionally, they do this wonderful display where they launch themselves up into the sky and they parachute down. I wonder if this one will... that is a territorial call, but I'm going to try just tapping the vehicle slightly. That sometimes gets them to display. I've done it once or twice before. It doesn't always happen, but let's just see. That clicking sound it does at the beginning of the call. I'm glad we got to see it, because sometimes you just hear the whistling, you don't hear that clicking sound. No, it's not. It doesn't look like this bird is interested in displaying at the moment. Now, they say they can display throughout the year, but it's generally summer. So I don't think they're displaying just yet. Who knows, we may start the car and it could shoot up. But wonderful to see the red-crested Korhaan perched up on a termite mound, or sitting on a termite mound rather, not perched. He's doing it again. Let's just watch once more. Sorry, he's just doing it again there. Wonderful. It does a clicking sound in the beginning and then that whistle. Well, that's lovely. There we go. Nice view of the red-crested Korhaan. Hopefully we'll see them displaying at some point during the year, or now in summer rather. We'll see them shooting up into the sky and displaying. Now, Tayla is appreciating the sunset. So let's go across to the Mara, where they've at least got a sunset, and see how beautiful it is.
We've got the most amazing sounds this evening. We're very lucky. Not only are we watching the last of a spectacular sunset, but something is upset an impala. You can hear him snorting. And of course now he's stopped, but he's off in the distance. I don't know why he's so nervous. Maybe he saw something we didn't see, but everyone else is very relaxed. All the females are just looking around going, what are you panicking about? And of course the frogs are chirping quite a bit this evening too. Let's drive a little bit further forward. Let's see if we can figure out what has upset this impala. We don't often hear the animals alarming out here. It's so open. So unless something's maybe sneaking around in the grass, that could also be a possibility. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, I thought that was a lion laying in the road. What is that? A jackal? Straight ahead. Oh, no, it is a jackal. For a minute I thought it was a stick that's just disappearing off to the side of the grass. No, there it goes. Black-backed jackal. Now, Francois, you're wondering what's happened to Maurice. Maurice is around, I promise. Maurice is on my bedside table at the moment, just resting. He doesn't like the rain too much. It was a bit too rainy. So we just left him inside until I can get him a raincoat. He can't come outside and get a raincoat. He's going to get sick, you know. And pneumonia is real. We don't want him to get that. I've never met an elephant with pneumonia, and I don't think I want Maurice to be the first. So that's where he is. He just comes out every now and then. You'll see him hiding away. Sometimes I don't even tell you that he's on safari. He's just there, and I see if anybody has spotted him. And most days, no one even realizes that he's in the car with me. Okay, we need to start looking for frogs now. This is the time. This might be cheetah hunting hour too, but it's also the time to see the amphibians, which is what I'm most excited about, because there are no cheetah around at the moment. Well, I'm sure there are lots of predators about. They're just all off the main roads at the moment. It's a bit too wet for us to go driving around. We had quite a bit of rain. Oh, I saw one. I'm having comms troubles there, Megan. I'm so sorry. There's frogs leaping, but they're leaping so far and wide that they're landing off the side of the road. Let me see if I can spot one. Said, can I borrow your spotlight? Yes. Thank you. I'm going to use this one. Bow, bow! Now, Eric the Poet, you've said that I've mentioned the frog. Sorry, I'm just staring at the road to find you a frog. And you're wondering if we get newts. No, we don't. We don't get newts here. I've never seen newt here. I'm not mistaken, aren't newt? I know you get sort of salamanders and newts and things like that in Asia. I'm actually not sure. Now I'm starting to think, but I don't think we do, if I remember correctly. But I could also be talking absolute nonsense. So it doesn't really help you, does it, Eric? I'll make up for it now. I'll find you a frog. Right, let's quickly have a look for one. There's so many of them. I really wish there was a book specifically dedicated to frogs in this area, but I don't know if anybody has spent much time looking at amphibians here. There's so many other things that will distract you. Oh my goodness, we've got impatient Nancy. Off we go. Bye-bye. Gonna drive past. See if we can find a frog. Don't squash my frogs. I'm gonna be upset. Oh, there's a hippo. We can have a look at the hippo. Hello, hippopotamus. And the frogs can be a bit dangerous though, because they just sort of leap in front of your car. And then there's sometimes no option but to keep driving. What's on the side of it? You look like you've been in a fight, my friend. Probably boxing a little bit, although I don't see too many other scars. Oh no, there is another one on the shoulder. Never mind. Yes, this hippo has been fighting quite a bit. Those look like maybe from teeth scraping along the skin. So almost just like a graze. Didn't actually make too much of a puncture wound. And a very relaxed one. And look at the rump. Lots and lots of bites there. I wonder if this is a female or a male. It could be either. Sometimes the males will chase after the females. And then, of course, also, we know when a big dominant bull is chasing another out of his territory, one is running for his life. So they will be susceptible to wounds on the rear end. But I've seen females being torn up by boys before. It's not a very nice sight, although it's not a very nice sight regardless of the sex of the hippo. Let's see, he's going to actually come right out onto the road. And then we'll be able to find out if it was a male or female. It's climbing over there. The embankment. I can't believe how relaxed it is. That's awesome. We're probably only about 30 meters away from this hippo. Hello. You're a big one. Now I'm trying to figure out if it is a male or a female. Turn slightly. I think it might be a female. I'm just trying to see. I can't see any bits that indicate that it's a boy. But I can't see the female bits either. We'll see. Hopefully it turns. Am I seeing correctly? This light's not great. Whee! Slip and sliding. Careful, slowly, Hippo. Not that you're really going too fast. It's ice skating, Hippo. Now, this is actually really funny to watch. I wish that I could get out the car and walk the same track that the Hippo walked, or just next to it, and see if I could do any better, because I don't think I would. I think that I would slip and fall to the ground about 100 times. It could be quite entertaining. I'd also then get my shoes very wet and muddy. No, it's a boy. It is a male. Maybe a youngster. He's big, but he's not enormous. I mean, I've definitely seen hippos that are much larger than him. Maybe he was just getting a bit too excited and he had to have a talking to. Right, where are these frogs? That's what we're after. We keep getting sidetracked. I thought I saw some elephants up ahead as well, so we might see some elephants at some point. Okay, where are these creatures with big legs and leap into the road? Okay. Well, we'll keep driving and hopefully we'll find some froggies and other cool things to look at. We have got a school joining us shortly. I'm going to send you across to Brent and he's going to start the school drive.
A very big welcome to our schools today. It's great to have you on your very own live game drive. There you can see we have 3 cheetah. Technology. Now, the infrared light enables us to see the cheetah, but we can't see the infrared light ourselves. So I'm looking at my little screen and saying the exact same thing as you are, because if I had to look out, I can't see the cheetah at all. And my name is Brent, and I have my good friend Craig on camera, and we're going to take you on a wonderful adventure. It's getting dark here in the Masai Mara in Kenya. The frogs are starting to make noises. The hyenas are whooping in the background. But I think the cheetah, who ate a little antelope earlier today, are probably going to sleep here, so we'll stay with them for a little bit, but then we might go see if we can find some lions or hyenas just down the road. They look like they're getting very comfortable for the night, and unless something scares them or chases them away, like a lion or a hyena, I think they're probably going to be sleeping here till tomorrow morning. Now, I want lots of questions from you guys. If you're a bit nervous, just get your teacher to send the question through to me. I would love to hear from you. Wentworth would like to know, would these cats attack the hippo that Tayla just saw? No, they would not. They are far too small, Wentworth. The only cat that would attack an animal as big as a hippo is maybe a group of lions. But even then, it would have to be some very brave lions, because hippos are very, very dangerous. They have very, very big teeth and are capable of biting something like a little cheetah, probably in half. Now, these cheetah look very comfy. So cheetah are what we call crepuscular animals. What crepuscular means is they're most active at dusk and dawn, although this particular cheetah really likes to hunt in the middle of the day. So I think she's going to snooze on with her 2 young boys. So she's about 10 years old and the boys are just over a year old. Tired kitties. You can hear all the sounds of the frogs at the moment and the insects. Hi, Gwen. Gwen is wondering, what will cheetahs attack? Well, Gwen, cheetahs will attack small to medium-sized antelope. So I'm trying to think about antelope about up to the size of a white-tailed deer. Sometimes the males can catch bigger things like wildebeest, but mostly little antelope like impala, Thompson's gazelle, reedbuck. Now, of course, I'm sure you guys already know this, but the cheetah is the fastest land mammal in the world, and it's capable of doing up to just around 100 kilometers an hour, even though it doesn't look like they're going to be moving too much tonight. I think they've found a nice safe place to sleep. Now, unlike the other big cats, cheetahs like to sleep out in the open in short grass, and the reason for this is because they're so much smaller than the lions and the leopards. They like to have a lot of space around them so they can see if a lion or a leopard is trying to sneak up on them, and they can run away very fast before the bigger cat tries to kill them. Because all the different cats will try kill each other out here. It's to try remove competition. So competition for prey, and if a cheetah was to find baby lions, it would kill the baby lions. But a big cheetah stands no chance against a big lion. A big cheetah, a female, probably weighs around 55 to 60 kilograms, and that's a very big one. Normally much less than that, probably around 45 kilograms, so less than 100 pounds. And a big lion, female, can weigh around 250, 200, maybe at the big side up to 300 pounds, and a big male lion weighs well over 400 pounds, so much, much bigger than a cheetah. Now we're having a lucky spotty cat safari. I'm going to leave the cheetah to snooze, see if we can find anything else, but my friend Byron, all the way about 2,000 kilometers from me in South Africa, has found the other big spotted cat of Africa.
Hello everyone, welcome to Yarmouth. Wonderful to have you on our school drive this afternoon, and you've joined us at a great time. We've just got a view of a beautiful young male leopard who's moving through a thicket at the moment, and we'll see if hopefully he comes out for us. Now, these are very secretive big cats, the leopards, and you can see how well camouflaged they are, and they blend in with this dry vegetation. Now, we are all the way down in South Africa, quite far from where Brent is, as he was explaining, and this is one of the big cats that we see quite regularly down here. Beautiful, beautiful leopards. Definitely one of my favorites. Look at him, isn't he beautiful? There he goes. Now it's a cool afternoon here, and I think that's why he has decided to move around quite a bit. Now, for those of you who did join us, my name is Byron, and VM is on camera with me this afternoon. Let's see if we can try get a better view of this leopard. He's moving through there. Now it's going to be very difficult to follow him through here. You can see how thick the bush is, but I'm so glad that we did get a glimpse of him for you, so you could see him. Now, don't forget to send your questions through to us. Just ask your teachers to feed them through, and we'll happily answer them for you. Let's see if I can get a better little view. I don't think so. I don't think we'll get a view through here. You know what? I do know. See, it's not easy being a guide around here in Africa. The bush is very thick. The animals move around. I'm going to try my best to get another view of this leopard for you. There is, I know, a little gap through here somewhere that we can take, and I might be able to get another view of him. Hold on, I think it's... I've driven through here before. Is just through at the back here. He's sitting down just over there. Yeah, I think come through. You follow me here. Sorry, there are just some other people out on safari at the moment too, and they also want to see this big cat. Stick with me. Hold on. There's a little gap for us now. I need to see if we can spot. He might be just on the edge here. Some nice thick drainage line, so ideal for leopard to move through. There he is, there he is. I can see him, I can see him. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. There he is, there he is. There he is. Look at that. That's a beautiful view of him. There he goes. Oh, great. Now, I do think we might lose this leopard soon because he's moving through a very thick area. And it's not going to be easy to follow him. What a nice surprise. We actually found this leopard earlier, but he was lying down, he was resting, but now I think that the temperature's cooled down and it's getting closer to nighttime for us. That's why this leopard is now up and moving around and possibly going to look for some food. You never know. Okay, well, I'm just going to see if maybe get another view of him, but while I do that, let's go across to my friend Tayla, back in the Masai Mara, very far from here, and she's got a spotlight out at the moment.
Hello everybody, welcome, very excited to have you on board my car this evening. My name is Tayla, and on camera with me is Sebastian, and we've been seeing lots of cool cats with Brent and with Byron. I don't know if we're going to find any cats tonight. They seem to all be hiding away, and the area that we've in has had so much rain we can only stick onto the main roads. So what we're looking for is a creature that likes to come out after there's been lots of rain around, and that is frogs. We're looking for frogs and toads this evening, which are quite cool. Now, it was quite cold and chilly most of the day. There was lots and lots of wind, but the weather's actually got really nice now, so we should see them. Now, Lauren, you're wondering how big can frogs get? Lauren, that depends on the frog. You get some frogs that are so tiny they're called micro frogs. You get some frogs that are so big they're called bullfrogs, and some of the larger ones that we get. But I haven't been able to find a frog for you just yet, but you can most certainly listen to them, so have a little listen. There's even a hyena calling. You hear it? Ooh. I'm just scanning with my spotlight to see if I can find anything, see if I can see any eyes shining back at me. And there are some eyes, but they're the eyes of some antelope, of some topi. So we're not going to view them at night. We don't have our infrared light on just yet, but I'm determined to find you all some frogs. And I think, whee, there's one. Gotcha. Please still be on the road. Let me try and figure out quickly where it's gone. It's easy when they leap. It's hard when they land on the ground and then trying to find them again. They've got such good camouflage. Oh no, it got away. The one who got away. That's a pity. Okay, we'll find another one. Maybe there's a lot around here. Lauren, you're wondering how many animals can you see in one day? It depends. You can see lots of animals from the entire Big Five and more. And then sometimes you can go out on safari and just see a couple of birds. It depends on where you are, if you're in the right spot at the right time. No ways. Look at this tiny one. Here's a frog. Hello, beautiful. Now, I'll probably be the only person you ever meet that calls a frog beautiful. But it is there. It's tiny, and look at that bright green stripe going down the back of its body. That is absolutely beautiful. Now, I'm still learning the frogs of East Africa, but there are some grass frogs, some ridge frogs, some river frogs, and they all look very similar. They all have a very sort of pointed nose, but this should be a very easy frog to identify because of that bright green stripe down the back of its body. So when I get home and have access to the internet, I'll try and figure out what it is. But that's most certainly a frog and not a toad. Toads tend to have a bumpier sort of skin. Frogs tend to be quite smooth as well. But there's so many different types out here. Now, for our regular viewers that are watching, I ask you, pretty please take some screenshots of that frog. So we can, of course, look at it a little bit later. Those are all the alates. So for the young'uns that are watching, that's what that frog is hopefully going to try and catch. It looks like the ants have released their princes and princesses, so they're going to go off in search of making their own colony somewhere, and they do so after the rain when the ground is nice and soft so they can burrow down easy. Oh, look, it's a different angle now. It's changed for us. Beautiful. Oh, that is so cool. It looks like one of the river frogs to me, just with all that green on it. Typically the grass frogs and the ridge frogs from the ones that I've seen in South Africa are a little bit more sort of browns in color rather than so much green. But this does look like a small one, so maybe it's a juvenile. Maybe it's still growing and hasn't quite reached its full size. I'm so excited because this is the most beautiful one I've seen. And is that an ant? You're out late. Now, Sylvain and Emmett, you're wondering if there's any poisonous frogs out here. Most of them will have some sort of protection, and normally that is in the form of a chemical of sorts. So a lot of frogs secrete sort of enzymes from their skin that will basically make them taste bad, and then the predators, birds and mongoose and your dogs at home will hopefully not want to eat them. This thing just not, what was that? Was that water? I don't know where that even came from. That thing that's now in front of it, I didn't see. I was looking away for a second. Is it an insect? Isn't it a tiny little insect? Look how beautiful it is, though. It's going. Oh, wow. It was an amazing color, a little sort of blue sheen on it. It had very sort of feathered antennae. That was stunning, but the frog does not seem to be hungry. So we'll see what other amphibians we can find out here. Byron is still with a young male leopard named Hosana.
We are indeed, Tayla. Good luck with your amphibian search over there. And we luckily still have a view of this young male leopard. And he's just busy eyeing out the area. Lexi, you asked how can we tell the difference between a leopard and cheetah? And I'll show you, Lexi. I'll get back to that question. I just don't want us to take the camera off this young leopard and lose him. Because I think once he moves from there, we're probably not going to see him again. But just have a good look at him, Lexi. If you see, if you look at that pattern on his body, it's actually, they are known as rosettes. Those beautiful black markings on the body, they are called rosettes. It's not a very clear spot, it's a rosette. Whereas the cheetah have got very clear spots all over their body. So that is one difference between the two. The other one is the cheetah is a slightly taller animal, but much thinner, more slender. Now that is because the cheetah is built for high speed. They run very, very fast. The fastest land mammal is the cheetah. And now the leopard is a little bit shorter, but a very powerful cat. Very muscular and now a leopard can climb trees very well, whereas a cheetah can't. Look, he's just decided to lie down. Did he see something? I wonder, or is he just lying down and resting? And Lucas, you were wondering how fast a leopard is. Well, a leopard is also very fast, but a much shorter distance, over a much shorter distance. So Lucas, he could cover just a couple of yards when they pounce on their prey. So the difference between cheetah and leopards, the leopards are ambush predators. So they lie in the bush just like this young male is doing now, and they'll wait for something to walk past and then pounce and try and catch their prey. But they can move very quickly over a short distance. So within a few seconds they can cover about 10 or 15 yards. Very, very quickly, just in a few split seconds. Whereas a cheetah will run down prey over a certain distance, let's say about 150 meters, so about a or 100 meters. So call it I think to make it easier, a football field, about the length of a football field. They'll try to stalk a little bit close and then run down their prey, and they can run about that distance at a very, very fast speed, around about 110 kilometers an hour, about 60 miles per hour. Very, very fast, very fast. So different to a leopard. Now, Natalia, you asked how can we tell a male and female leopard apart? Well, Natalia, the male leopards are much bigger than the females. So if anything, the first thing you can look at is the size. The male leopards are bigger. They do look very, very similar. However, the males, their heads are much bigger and rounder, and they are almost double the size of a female leopard. So much, much bigger, Natalia. Beautiful, beautiful big cat. Tommy, you're asking how old leopards can get. Now, Tommy, in the wild, they can, just like this leopard is in the wild, obviously, they can live up to about, males will live to between 12 and maybe 15 years old. Let's see, has he seen something? Just have a look. He seems to be stalking something. Oh, there he goes. Oh, no, I don't know. Let's try and have a look. See, I can't see what he's spotted. But there he disappears. He disappears. We'll try and have a look if I can see him on the other side. I'll move around. Tommy, male leopards, roughly around 12 to 15 years old. Female leopards can live a bit older, up to about 17 years old in the wild. That's the average age for leopards. Now, Lexi, just getting back to your question, let me show you a picture of the cheetah quickly to show you the difference. There we go. That is a cheetah. Is that better? There. See, now the cheetah, very tall, slender cat with beautiful spots all over the body. You see that, like we saw in the Mara earlier. So very, very different to that of the leopard. Long tail that they use for steering when they are running at top speeds. Their tail acts as a balance, but you can see very tall, big cat with these beautiful spots. And also a clear marking on the cheetah, those beautiful tear marks. Do you see down the face? They've got those black tear marks that run down their face. Now let me show you a picture of the leopard quickly. Just like the leopard we saw, here's a nice side view. Those beautiful rosettes. You see, it's not a clear spot. They have got little spots around the body in certain places, but you can see it's a rosette. It's not a perfect spot. A shorter cat, very muscular. And then have a look at the face. This is a lovely view of the face of the male. This is a male leopard over here, big face, and you see no tear marks down the side of the face like a cheetah has. So Lexi, I hope you can now tell the difference between a cheetah and a leopard. Now let's quickly drive around. I'm going to see if I can find him again. I just need to try and navigate through this thick section of bush. But while I do that, let's quickly go back all the way to the Masai Mara. Tayla has got a spotlight out and she's searching for little creatures.
We haven't found any more frogs yet, unfortunately, but we're searching. We're scanning around and around looking for them, waiting for them to leap up in the road and give themselves away, because then I'll be able to see them. But we're going to head to some cool... there's another one, but I think it was the same one that we had. We will have to get a different one. Wentworth, were you wondering if I've ever been attacked by an animal before? I once was... I don't know if attacked is the right way, but I went to this sort of bird park and they had these massive aviaries of like these birds that they'd been rescued. Some were people's pets that they didn't want anymore anyways. And there were all these rainbow lorikeets, which is a very, very pretty bird that you can see in Australia. And it literally does look like a rainbow. And it's like a mini parrot, to just try and describe it to you. They swarmed me once. I was like the bird whisperer, and they were flying and landing on my head. And I reckon if you were scared of birds, that would have been a terrifying experience. So that's the closest to being attacked by any animals that I've been. So no. I did have a buffalo charge me once. Well, I've had many animals charge me before, but I've never actually been attacked. It's pretty safe. See, so to be a guide like what I am, like Brent and Byron and Jamie all are, is you got to go through a variety of training, and the most important thing is learning about animal behavior. So what an animal is going to do, and how to tell when it's angry, how to tell when it's happy, how to tell when it's uncomfortable with you, all these different types of things, because an animal won't just hurt you. It's only going to hurt you if it's got no other choice to get away. If you're its way out, then you can find yourself in trouble. But in the cars, they're very relaxed around the vehicles because we've been interacting with them for so many years. So we're just a part of their lives now, every single day. And they seem to be fine by that. Like earlier, we were surrounded by a herd of buffalo, and we had elephants quite close to us too, and they didn't care. And the leopards and the lions of the Sabi sand, especially where Byron's driving in South Africa, are no strangers to cars at all, and they'll walk right on past them. And the lions and leopards and hyenas will do all those same things out here. So the chances of you being attacked by an animal, unless you've done something very silly, you'll probably be fine. And hopefully I'll keep that level on 0. Now, Ollie, you're saying while I've been searching for frogs, you're wondering if I know how many species of frogs are well, here in this area. It's a hard one. I gotta say that I don't think the amphibians of the Mara Triangle have been studied extensively. I think they've looked into them. So I would say there's at least 25 different species of frogs in this area, if not even more, that some people just haven't found. Because there's not many people, you're not allowed to walk in here. You're not allowed to walk in the reserve at all. And if you were on foot, you would find a lot more. If you're just looking around when you're in a vehicle, stopping and checking, you're probably going to miss quite a bit too. So, like I said, the one we first had, I think, is part of the either a river frog or a grass frog or a ridge frog or something along those lines. We have a very pointed nose. We did see some bullfrogs yesterday, some crown bullfrogs. There was a bird that was eating one, but the frog was too big for the bird to eat, so it just had to leave it to find something else that was smaller. But it tried very hard to eat it. We were a bit worried the bird was going to choke at one point, but it realized that it cannot eat something so large. And you know, after the rain like we've just had now, we're obviously looking for frogs, but some other cool creatures that could potentially come out this evening are things like servals, which is a small cat. It's got spots and stripes. If I say serval, oh no, look at Jackal. This is another creature. So this is a little scavenger. It looks like a bit like a fox. And it's just standing there. I wonder what it was eating, because look at this, chewing something. They will also eat frogs. I don't think they'd be too tasty though. But they'll eat whatever they can, so they don't just scavenge, they don't just feed off carcasses that are left over by lions and hyenas. Well, not that there's much left over after a hyena. I think it's got whatever it was eating in its mouth now. Turn your head so we can see. Off it goes. Just running in the grass. Obviously doesn't like us very much. That's the black-backed jackal. We get 2 species of jackal here. The side-striped and the black-back. Black-back's my favorite. Very cool. So I don't know what that thing was eating, but very cool. Nice to see the nocturnal creatures. Right, so we'll keep searching, and maybe we find a serval cat, and maybe a white-tailed mongoose from snake. Who would that be? I bet all the boys Byron, he's still got Hosana. I wonder if he's going to try and stalk an animal for you.
Now, how cool is this, everyone? We've got... Oh, what did he see? He just ran through there. Now, we've got our infrared on. So, it's getting dark, but you can still see pretty well with our infrared.
area that Byron's driving in is not the greatest for signal, but that's okay. It sometimes happens. We're still just driving, still just searching for things leaping out of the road and looking for eyes that are reflecting back at me. No, we obviously got to see the jackal. I can't put the spotlight on everyone, unfortunately, so not all animals. I'll keep shining, and you can obviously use it to spot them, but once you've found them, you take them away. So we try and avoid shining the light on the animals that like to move around and are more active during the day. So we call those diurnal. We don't call them diurnal animals. And then for nighttime critters like that jackal, we would say nocturnal. And because, well, their eyes are a lot more sensitive to, and this is the diurnal creatures, to an artificial light than the nocturnal creatures, which try and absorb as much light from the stars, from reflections of the water, from the moon, you name it. They try and absorb all that light. The other animals do the complete opposite, and it can sometimes cause them to be a bit dazed. You know what it's like if your friend accidentally shines a spotlight on your eyes, you can't see. And it's a problem, but then it comes back after a while. Now, Ellie, you're wondering what other animals are out here? Oh, hippos. We actually saw an enormous hippo out of the water, which was so cool. And because we were surrounded by the Mara River, of course, so they were often out here. Leopards, like you've seen with Byron. Lions, hyena, which we heard, but we haven't seen one yet. Owls, we get lots of owls, and hedgehogs. Can you believe it? Brent found a hedgehog once. You'll have to ask him about his hedgehog stories. He's the king at catching them. And porcupines and honey badgers and aardvark and all these strange names that I'm now rattling off that some of you have probably never heard of in your entire life. And I don't blame you, because they're really elusive creatures, so we don't see them very often. They're very shy, not like the lions and the leopards and the elephants and buffalo that don't mind being around the cars all the time. But the cool thing about a safari is you just never know what's going to happen next. So we could be driving here like that jackal. It just popped out of nowhere. I had no idea we were going to see a jackal this evening. And that's what we're hoping for, is that something is just going to pop out onto the main road, because we can't drive anywhere else, which makes me a little bit sad, because I would have loved to have showed you some lions. I think you all would have loved the lions. And after the rain, they're normally quite busy too, especially the big males. And they're so stunning with their beautiful big manes and, well, their lovely sounding voices. Something that they'll do is they'll roar. And then they go off on the territorial patrols. I can hear, all the frogs are here, but none of them want to be seen this evening. Listen to them. Crazy, eh? Very noisy out here. It must be hard to sleep. Now, Byron has battled off the gremlins. He's got his spotlight out. Let's see if we can get another look at that leopard.
Unfortunately not. We're not going to get another look at that leopard. He moved through that drainage line, and unfortunately our signal wasn't good there. But I'm so glad that we got to show you him just before the end of the show. And wonderful to see that young leopard. And I hope all of you watching at Yarmouth enjoyed that. Now I've got the spotlight out too, and I'm looking for any nocturnal little creatures. Let's see what we can find. Who knows what we bump into. Marion asked how often it rains here. Now, Marion, it's funny, down in South Africa where we are at the moment, the rain that we get is mainly in summer. Wait for our the rain to come in summer, and it doesn't rain that often. It would rain in the peak of the rainy season, as we call it, maybe once a week or twice a week, if that. Sometimes we get rain a lot for 2 weeks. So it changes, but it's not It's not every day at all, but But when we do get those beautiful storms and in the middle of summer, now some of you might be wondering why it's summer. So because we're in the southern hemisphere, our summer months are coming up now, so we're moving into the warmer summer months. While you're receiving winter in the United States, we have summer, and then when it's summer for you, we have our winter. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Just a little leaf, I think, blowing now. Oh, and some of the frogs do live here all year round, but what they do is they, in the winter months, we don't see the frog very often. Some of them hide, or they go almost into a state of hibernation, so they'll go and look for an area. Some of them bury themselves in the mud, and they stay there until the rains come, and then they come out again. Some will hide in trees, in hollowed out trees, and they conserve the energy, and they'll hide there for the winter months, and summer they come out again. I'm also trying to see if we can find maybe a little owl, perhaps. We do get a lot of owls here. What was that? A bird just flew here, so I'm just having a look. Was it maybe an owl, or wasn't it? I'm not sure. As I said, we do get lots of species of owls around here. So maybe we spot one. That would be a nice little surprise. Now also in our summer months, because we start getting more insects in summer, there's more water and it's much warmer, so the insects will start coming out. So that will also bring out other little creatures like scorpions. Now we do see scorpions sometimes on our night safaris, maybe running across the road, or sometimes we spot them in trees. I'll see if I can spot one for you. But it's not always easy, and it's never a guarantee. It's difficult to find animals at night. We rely on the spotlight and hopefully see the reflection of light in their eyes for some of the animals. Now, some of the animals, they don't have reflective eyes at all, and you just have to rely on spotting them, which can be difficult. Just having a look around here. It's nice to check these dry, dead trees from time to time. See if there are any creatures hiding in them. Seems to be very quiet this evening, and I think because today was a little bit cooler, maybe the animals aren't as active as they normally would be. Now we had overcast weather, so with that cloudy weather, I think some of the animals just aren't moving around as much. Okay, well, I'm going to carry on looking for animals, and hopefully I can find something for you before the... Here's a little scrub hare. Look at that. Oh, there we go. There we go. There's a little scrub hare. Wonderful. Now that's a little nocturnal animal that comes out at night. That is called a scrub hare. A little hare that we see running around at night, and during the day it will hide in the thickets or in the scrub, and that's why it's called a scrub hare. Very easy. easy to remember. And now at night it's starting to run around and forage and look for food. Beautiful. See those big ears? I'll rely on those ears to listen out for predators. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's a nice surprise. There we go. Something that runs around at night. Okay, well, let's go across to Tayla, who's still moving around in the Mara, and we'll see if she manages to find any nocturnal animals for you.
Let's try this again. So we haven't found any more frogs, unfortunately. It seems as though my eyes are not good enough, but that's okay. But we'll still have some opportunities to look for more frogs because the rain is only just starting in this area. And then we'll have a little break again, and then it will come pouring down twice as hard. Now, Braden, you're wondering what is the fastest animal here? Well, if we're talking about mammals, it's the cheetah, of course. The animal that you got to see with Brent this afternoon. Very cool. They run the fastest, but there's a bird that you can see called a peregrine falcon that is even quicker when it dives than a cheetah, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, scrub hares that you saw with Byron, which is what's running in front of my car at the moment, but I'm going to turn my lights off because I don't really like the light very much. It's starting to panic now. They're quite quick too, but not quick enough though to escape a cheetah. That's a very easy thing for a cheetah to catch. Stay there. Thank you, scrub hare. There we go. Ran off to the side of the road now. So that's good. And there's some owls out here that are massive that would also try and take down something like a scrub hare. Oh my goodness, now the road turns, oh, not great. Right. This will mean low range and eyes on the road from now on. The road's very slippery because of all the mud, so I might not be able to look back at all of you, but I'm sure you will all survive. Otherwise, we won't survive, and that won't be too good. So I'm going to focus on driving now and take it easy, make sure we get home nice and safe, and I'm going to send you back across for the final minutes of the show with my dear friend Byron, but it's been fantastic chatting to all of you today.
Well, thank you very much, Tayla, and I hope all of you have enjoyed this drive so far. Now, just getting back to that leopard, Claire, you had a question about leopards. You were asking how many cubs they can have. Well, a female leopard, Claire, can give birth to anywhere between 1 or 3 cubs in a particular litter. So it's generally, it all depends how successful they are, but usually it's only 1 or 2 of the cubs that survive. Sometimes you can get lucky and a female leopard will raise all 3 cubs. I have seen that happen before, but it's very, very seldom. It's very seldom. So a big thank you to all of you from Yarmouth. Hope you've enjoyed the school drive with us this afternoon, or this evening rather. It's evening for us. We've enjoyed having you, and I'm glad we've got to show you some of the interesting animals we see in Africa. And just some impala out in the clearing at the moment. Now they come out into the clearing for safety at night, so it's nice and open, and they can see some of the predators. So there we go, some impala, nice and alert. One of the antelope species here. So that's nice to close the show. Thank you very much to everyone else who was watching it with us from the beginning. From myself, Byron, and Wiem, thank you. And a big thank you to the ladies in Final Control. We'll see you all tomorrow for our sunrise safari. And I'm glad the schools got to join us. Thank you, everyone. Hope you learned something. We'll see you all soon again on Safari Live. So from South Africa, goodbye and good night.